Let's get to work. Come on.
Welcome to the Master of Trades podcast with your host, Perry Allison.
Hey, welcome to the Master of Trades podcast. I'm your host, Perry Allison, and I'm here with you today to talk about just how hard running a business, being an entrepreneur can be. And listen, there are a lot of people out there, a lot of business gurus, snake oil salesmen, people even with great intentions. And I could even come off like this sometimes where it's just like, we have it all together and you need to know what we know. And we're not going to tell you exactly what it is that we know until you transact with us. But, I hope to never be that type of person. I always want to give that value, like whatever I know, here's what I know, and good luck doing it on your own. But if you'd like to work with me, that value is different. But man, it can be a lot. And I'll just be honest with you. It can be a lot to observe what other people are doing, not in an envious way, not in a jealous way, not in a way that, it's like, I wish I had that success and I wish you didn't. Nothing toxic that way, but just generally as a business owner, looking to do our best for our people, for ourselves, for our family, not trying to waste our value and our time and our experience on things that are beneath us, not beneath us like we're too good, but like more just beneath how we should be spending our time. Where should I be dedicating my time? Where's the highest value for myself and for my people? Because if I'm working on small things, my team is not benefiting from that. So it's not a selfish statement, it's a humble statement. And so as a business owner, seeing folks, with this, like, man, it used to be hard and now it's super easy. And every day is super easy for me. If you get that feeling, I want to encourage you right now that that's just not real life for any business owner who's growing, who desires growth and new and scaling. You might have long seasons of comfort for, I'd say, business owners that don't intend to grow, but that's only leading to a place where I think the greatest frustration remains ahead. At least it would for me. I can't exist with an experience of not being my best and not trying to produce my best. So, it becomes disheartening. I'll just be honest with you. As you start to go through the real life of running a business, these days just start to kind of wear on you. These new experiences that you have that, come out of left field. It's a challenge and it's a grind. And if you're listening today, I want to just empathize with you right now and say, you're not doing anything wrong. You're doing the right things, and these experiences are unavoidable. You're just going to have this come up. Before 2020, what's funny is I thought I had seen everything. I thought I'd seen every type of situation. Let's say I knew I haven't experienced all of the frustration and anguish that is running a business, but I thought, what, I have dabbled and sampled all sorts of and every sort of business difficulty, from lawsuits to product recalls to audits to injuries and employee issues and potential fraud investigations into my company as certain people, like all sorts of things, like the gamut. Starting a business, bootstrapping it, having to really focus on capital infusions in order to survive. Like, I'd seen a lot of things. I thought that prior to 2020, and then 2020 hit. And being a commercial fitness company within the state of California offered a new set of experiences for me. Let's just say California shut down all commercial fitness locations for over 18 months in some cases. All of our clients were off the table within a single day. On top of that, California was paying people more to stay at home than they could make while working. Okay. And so you might think, well, just pay your people more. Again, all of my clients were taken off the table. So we were a little bit tight on capital. And then to add to the fact that, man, just stay home and you'll make more money, that made it incredibly challenging. And prior to 2020, we had such momentum. We had such a great culture, such a great team, and we were winning at a different level than we ever had. And that was incredibly challenging period. On top of that, I can't talk about it right now or just yet, and one day I will. We had one of the most significant situations that you could ever find yourself in as an American in business, especially during this time for the reasons that I mentioned. We just had the cherry on top, and one day I will deliver that juicy uh cherry to you, and we'll go deep on that story because that was interesting. And that was incredibly painful and scary for my family and for my team. And oh my goodness, that will be a doozy of a story for you. Um, but actually, what I will tell you about that instance and that experience was that I found out the true colors of some people that I had just recently onboarded, and they stuck with me through that moment where most people would have never stuck around, and some people didn't stick around. But I got to see the true colors of those people, and those people are still by my side to this day. And I know them on a truer level than I could have ever known them without having had that experience. So, having actually had that experience and seeing people squeezed during that period with that situation that I alluded to, with the other things that I kind of outrightly told you, we had incredible people on our team, and that was really demonstrated to me the most as we started to be pressured at the highest possible level. And so that was kind of the consolation at that time is, man, I've got great people, and this whole business thing is about people. It's you either have people on your side that you can trust, that they trust you, they love you, you love them. And no matter what comes up, you believe that you're going to fight through these things with them. No matter the mistakes you make, no matter the mistakes they make, that there's a grace that you're able to create with people because of what you've gone through and how well they know you. They know your heart, you know their heart, and it's a mutual desire to see each other successful. And that, I think, is really what came out of 2020. But actually, along those lines of really seeing what people are made of, recently what prompted me to do this episode is a new experience that I had. One where, you just don't expect to ever have this. I am surprised now by how um naive I can be. And I walk myself into these new opportunities to experience deep pain and frustration like I never have before. And so I want to share that with you guys. It's incredible to see how, again, being a business owner and entrepreneur, how isolating it can be a lot of the times. How only you in this position will ever experience life in this way and have these unique situations that play out in these ways. So, where I've had people who have gone through a lot with me within the business, where previously they just started working in my company because they needed a job, I needed to hire somebody. And so I brought them in, and like through those moments, you actually see camaraderie, you see um, a relationship form and understanding. And it's really been beautiful to make these relationships that have turned into more of being like family than just coworkers. The opposite can also be true, and I've recently found that over the course of running my business, I've hired family members, I've hired friends. Um, Specifically with family members, it hasn't gone well, and that was certainly interesting. But I think what's interesting about family members and that not going well in your business is family members you happen to be related to, right? Your blood, your family, and that means a lot. But you're not always aligned on the core ideas of life, the things that attract you to friends and spouses are not exactly the things that bind you as family, not always. Um, and so oftentimes I think it's just, with family, it's like you kind of know what you're going to get. You've grown up with these people and you know who they are. And so it's not a surprise to you when they act or do or think in a certain way. When you have friends, these are like a chosen family. These are people that you do have that alignment with, that you do have that mutual love and appreciation for. And so I've also hired friends. And for the most part, working with friends has gone really pretty well. It hasn't always worked out functionally, like operationally. There have been, times where just either they've been dissatisfied with the way things are going. I've been dissatisfied with the way things are going. They transition out just because they just have different parts of their journey that they're ready to explore. That's happened a lot. I've probably hired most of the most significant people in my life. I've, I've employed at one point or another, and it's been something that's interesting. And it's also not been anything I've shied away from. I actually enjoy it. Um, I think, I'm definitely a unique person, and if you're listening to this and you're a business owner, high producing person, just like you want to take the world and you want to see what you can get, what kind of experience you can get out of it, how you can um, enrich your potential and bring that out of you. You're just kind of a nut anyways. You're just a weirdo. And we don't oftentimes uh, become understood by the masses, by most people. So that's not a surprise to me, but I enjoy bringing people in, because what you see is what you get. Who I am to you as a friend is who I am as a boss, as a mentor, as a coworker. That's what you see is what you get. But you get more of me. You get more of me when you work with me, and you definitely get a level of intensity that you're probably not used to. So I've worked with friends, and those times have either gone well or poorly functionally for me or them, and it's never been an issue. That the communication, I think, is at the core of it, and that's what I kind of expect from having friends and being understood in that way from someone who you're close to, and you choose that, like, you're a chosen family. You have that alignment, so you kind of expect, hey, no matter how we're feeling, what we're seeing, whether it's for us or not for us, that we'll both be able to communicate in a way that is mutually respectful. We love each other. We want the best for each other, and no hard feelings. Recently, I had an experience where it did not go that way. Um, and that was a new surprise to me. It was a new experience where operationally, obviously, it wasn't going super well. And to say, why it wasn't going well or whatever is kind of beside the point. It just is what it is sometimes. Sometimes it's just not anything you can avoid. Expectations are one thing, reality is an entirely different thing. And there's no way to know how things are really going to truly work out. But what I didn't expect was to have the situation go so poorly, as we were understanding, man, this is not meant to last. It was an experience where, as the transition was being made, uh, this person was lying about me. Um, Lied about how the situation was coming to an end. Um, Lied about me to my other employees, and even tried to manipulate the feelings of these other employees. And so, without going into detail, it's just that was not something I expected. You expect, hey, no matter what happens, there's gonna be love, there's gonna be support. Um, and I'm here for you, and I expect that you're here for me, and we're just gonna do whatever it takes to transition out. But to have someone, actually, by the way, this person made a decision to leave. They actually quit, and then later told others that they did not quit and that I was not telling the truth. And so you could see how confusing that is for everybody, for me included, for my team. And, to get that from a friend is really shocking. So, you know, that one hit me, and that's why I wanted to share this episode with you. Is, as a business owner, you're going to run into situations you never really expected, and times where beyond just business frustrations, lawsuits or audits or injuries or clients, big clients canceling or contracts being lost. Those are all business things. Day-to-day business disappointments. Man, I wish professionally that would have gone differently. But it's interesting when business can bleed over into your personal life and really affect your relationships in an irreversible way. And that can happen. And I don't know that my advice to you today, and I think for some folks, it's probably better that you don't work with your friends or your family. I'll leave that up to your discretion. I'll tell you, actually, for a long time, I've said I enjoy hiring my friends and my family. Those who say they love me and I love them, I enjoy bringing them into my ecosystem so that they could see this part of me and we can work together. Um, Without fear of whether it goes good or bad, because whether it goes good or bad, the expectation is, we're going to handle this with mutual love. And that's the thing is I think I appreciate opportunities to be able to know who people truly are. When the chips are down, how are you going to act? Do you have my back? Because when the chips are down and I'm calling you at 2 a.m. and I need help, are you the type of friend to answer your phone? Are you the type of friend to come through for me? And so to know that in a less important way, I think is valuable. So regardless of deep hurt that it creates, to actually know where you stand with people and situations, and ultimately big picture, when you deal with any sort of business difficulty, being an entrepreneur, the best way to shift your mind in those moments is knowing that this is actually going to attribute to my greater education, my greater ability, my greater character, my greater understanding. These experiences are teaching me something. It may not be entirely clear what you're being taught in that moment, but trust that you are learning, you are perceiving, and when those similar situations rise again, you can make adjustments. And I absolutely would make adjustments in hindsight. But I could tell you moving forward, some adjustments would be made. Um, and there is the value. Therein lies the value. And every pain and punishment and hard situation, there's always an opportunity to learn and to grow and to come out better as an entrepreneur. There is no silver bullet, unicorn, team member, problem solver, gift from heaven that will ever just be your full and lasting business solution. There's no perfect formula that is going to make everything perfect. There are definitely ways to leverage opportunities, to shift mindsets and concepts, and to use tools and things that make business more palpable and more efficient and create better outcomes. But at the end of the day, running a business and being an entrepreneur is just a hard struggle. One where if you're feeling what I'm saying, you're in great company. There is no way to avoid it. There's just a community to lean into. I'd encourage you to also get a community of people that can relate to these frustrations and these challenges. Get a community of people that understand what it's like to be isolated as the one to make all of the decisions for the business and move through these hard moments uh, with courage and continued positivity, keeping a smile on your face, keeping optimism in your heart as your team sees you respond or not respond to moments where they either know it's hard or they have no idea how hard it is. But to have a community of people that you can rely on and get support from, because man, every day is going to be a little bit better from those moments where you're feeling down, and it is highly temporary and is ultimately for your benefit to make you a stronger operator and an entrepreneur, a leader, a visionary, one to show up for others, because your people are also going to have these same experiences, and you have to be able to pull from your uh, from your experience to be able to support and serve them in those moments. So this has been the Master of Trades podcast. I'm your host, Perry Allison. Thank you for joining me on this week's podcast, all about going through these hard moments. I hope you get through it. I hope you come through as a champion and see the other side with victory. Have a great day.